Hello, this is Laura Robinson from the Chattanooga Area Food Bank, and this is early November in 2023, and this is just a garden walkthrough to share with the Garden Network and show you what's going on here. So I just wanted to start here with this fall gold raspberry. I don't know if anybody else has tried growing these. This is just the first year growing them, but they get kind of this like light yellowish orange color, and they are so good. And this is even after we had frost 2 nights last week, and they still look pretty good, surprisingly. I guess I figured that raspberries were more frost sensitive, but these seem to have held up, so we'll see kind of how long we'll keep these going. And this is just one plant. I think I'll try planting a couple more next year because this has been they've just been so good. So most of the rest of the garden is kind of just chugging along, and we have our standard fall greens and root vegetables growing. I would say for the most part things have been doing pretty well this season. It's been really dry. For those of you in Chattanooga, you know that. Really dry these last couple of months. But we've had kind of the standard issues, I think aphids on some of the kale and mustard. We've had some slug damage on some things, roly-poly damage. But other than that, I mean, things have been pretty good in terms of like keeping things alive. So I'll just walk through a few things. We have some cabbage and broccoli planted in this bed. I did notice this is just kind of the standard, I don't even know what the variety it is, standard broccoli, but this definitely was more affected by the frost last week. I noticed a bit of frost damage on the broccoli, whereas if you look over here, this is purple broccoli, and you can see here, these leaves did not appear to be damaged at all by the frost. And it might just be that they're bigger, but I think purple broccoli is supposed to be more cold hardy. So basically, you can see here, I just cut the head off of this one, but it's supposed to start sprouting off of the sides. So you just kind of take the head off and then leave it, and you'll just get little side shoots. So I'm excited about this. This has been growing in here. I feel like I planted this maybe 2 months ago, maybe even a little bit more, but this has done really well. I'm really hoping we don't get a really hard freeze like we did last year, because that kind of wiped it all out. I really want to see how this is going to grow throughout the winter. We have a couple of beds of garlic, which were planted early October, and those will be harvested late spring, early summer. Well, probably late spring. I'm trying to grow spinach, and seems like it's always a real hassle to get spinach to germinate. I know that they like colder temperatures, and we really haven't had that. I did try putting some shade cloth over a couple of beds. And then I did get some to germinate, but then I think some roly-polies ate a lot of the seedlings. So I put down some slug bait, which helps with roly-polies, and then re-sowed it. I think I'm on maybe sowing these beds 3 times with spinach in hopes of getting it to grow. It is a good cold hardy green, so if I can get it to grow, it should last through the winter. So if anybody has any tips or tricks with spinach, please let me know. I have more kale, collards in a few beds. I did interplant with radishes here and there, and that seems to have been a good use of space. I have some beets growing. The beets were pretty affected by the frost, so I think I will cover up this bed with cloth the next time we get a frost. I have a couple of different types of kale growing here. I have Siberian kale here in the middle, and then the dinosaur kale on the outside. The Siberian kale seem to be more affected by aphids. And I think I've heard that before from other people, so, but it's also supposed to be the most cold hardy. So it's kind of a trade-off. Maybe it's something that would be better planted later in the season. Maybe it wouldn't be as affected by aphids, but so anyways, that's just something to keep in mind, at least for me, for next season. I would maybe plant the dinosaur kale first and the Siberian kale later. The dinosaur kale has grown really well for me here though. I have mustard greens growing here, 3 different types. I really like the curly mustard and let's see, I have to go look and see what this one is. I think that's the broadleaf mustard. Yeah. I like those 2 types the best. I don't really like, there's this tender green or tender leaf something mustard. The way it grows has been kind of funny, and there's not much to the leaves. You can see they're pretty skinny. So I don't think I would necessarily grow that one again. I like the other 2 varieties better. I have 3 types of cabbage growing in this bed. You can see that this type and this type are definitely bigger. This is the Savoy cabbage, which seems to grow really slow, but last winter it was definitely the most cold hardy. So it probably just has a longer window to harvest, but it's just been interesting to see kind of those growing all together and and just comparing them side by side. I have been harvesting a lot of the leaves off the bottom, so it's kind of like having another set of hardy greens to give away here. So that's something nice about cabbage. You can kind of harvest the bottoms even when the bottom leaves, even before the head has formed. I have Swiss chard in a couple of beds. Just the regular green Swiss chard is definitely more cold hardy. The rainbow chard or ruby chard is more affected by the freeze. They were more affected by the freezes last week. So that's something to keep in mind. If you don't have any row cover where you are, I would not plant the ruby or rainbow chard in the fall. I do have a bed of Asian greens over here. I had bok choy, which has been harvested. I have winter choy, which is this one, and it's supposed to be pretty cold hardy. It's been growing fairly slow, which I guess is good, because I want to see how long it will last throughout the winter. And then I have a couple of other Asian greens. I have tatsoi here, and I have this one. Let's see if I have the tag over here. Oh yeah. It's called Chijimasai, and it is a cross between tatsoi and something else, which I don't remember right now. I kind of like the bigger leaves on this. Tatsoi has fairly small leaves, and this one's a little bit bigger. So I kind of like those. They were all affected by flea beetles earlier in the season, but those seem to have gone away for now. I have more kale, more cabbage. I interplanted with some carrots in here, and some of those have come up. Let's see. Leeks in this bed, which are very cold hardy. Last year, after we had that really, really hard frost, leeks and some of the other onions that I had in the garden were one of the things that came through the best. I have some lettuce here. It was somewhat affected by the frost, but obviously you can see the plants still are alive. Sorry, I keep clearing my throat. There's a bed of arugula, which I had interplanted with peppers until recently when I took the peppers out. Those had flea beetles as well earlier in the fall, but they seem to be doing okay now. But they've been this bed has been pretty productive. And I'll just lean over here. I'm trying to get some more things germinated in a couple of beds. I don't have too much more out here. Let's see. Oh, I did plant mosh. I don't know if you guys have heard of this green. It's very cold hardy, but you can see the plants stay fairly small. I might actually try sowing a bit more in this bed too, because I don't think they get too much bigger than what you see here. But they last. I mean, they'll last all through the winter, probably even uncovered. And then we have some cilantro, which is also last year in that hard frost or hard freeze. The cilantro all died back. It looked dead, but then it re-sprouted really fast. So it's a good one to have over the fall and winter months. And then I also have some dill here. And I think that's about it. The one other thing I did want to show you, we have this new tiered herb bed that a master gardener made for us, which is really pretty. I'm growing for the first time red sorrel. I don't know if you guys have any experience with sorrel at all, but it's tart, it's lemony. But I just think it's so pretty. I would definitely keep growing this. I don't know how cold hardy it is. I don't remember the stats on it, but it's something that's been fun to grow. And also I'm growing stevia, which I tried a leaf last week, and it is so sweet. I had to spit it out. But you can see it made it through those couple nights of hard frost that we had last week. So we'll see how long that keeps chugging along. And oh, one other thing, the alyssum made it through last week. So it's nice to still have, or in early November, still have some color in the garden. I was sad all of our zinnias and Mexican sunflowers are done now. So I'm not surrounded by butterflies all the time. So that's kind of sad, but it is nice to still have a little bit of color here and there. So anyways, I hope your growing season is going well, and I'd love to hear how things are going. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.